Okay, all right. So, for those of you who don't know me, I think everyone should know me. But if you don't know, my name is Azzaya, and I've been, been part of this beautiful platform for over a year now. We've got a few new individuals and in the team, and then nationality-wise, I am from. Yes, I've seen one camera on. um, okay, and so yeah, I've been part of this beautiful platform for over a year now, and yeah, nationality wise I'm from Mongolia, and but I'm sure everyone has heard of Mongolia by now, but yeah, currently based in London. And so we know that whatever we do in life, whether that be trading, entrepreneurship, relationship, mindset is always the key, and everything starts from the mind, the what you thinking. It literally that's like the starting point of absolutely everything. And this is why even though we're trading all this and that, but this is why we take mindset so seriously, especially personal development. And so I'm going to be doing a quick session on mindset in itself, like literally kind of getting a little bit scientific, but not like biology scientific kind of way, but it's just kind of really digging deep into the mind. And for those of you who know me a little bit longer, I'm a huge follower and a student of Bob Proctor. So all of my teachings are from Bob Proctor himself. And so yeah, I'm going to be touching on the paradigm, the terror barrier, and faith versus fear. So without having said that, let's get started. Okay, so I thought I'd break it down quite a bit and start from the absolute very beginning. We talk about mindset, but what is actually the mind? And the reason why I'm going to be digging so deep is because education does not mean teaching people what they don't know, because that's just facts. Because you can easily Google anything and find the answer. Like Google has everything and anything or even YouTube, you can Google anything. If you don't know it, then you can literally go and find the answer. That's just kind of like fact finding. But it is more on teaching people to behave as they do not behave. And the importance here and the biggest difference here is applied knowledge or operating with an understanding. And I really want you all to understand this, because operating with an understanding is the key. And that's the difference between actual like proper education, not just like, oh yeah, knowing things is different to understanding something. So I like to use this example though. So let's take you back to school and imagine that you're, sitting in an amazing, lovely maths exam, which I'm sure everybody loved. I know Vajana did. So just so you have, the way, I don't know, I did maths and further maths. Yes, I know. Yes, let's reminisce those times. And so I did maths and further maths. So there was a lot of maths exams, and I know Vajana absolutely loved it. But I don't know, there were some things, it just got so a lot, it was too much that in the end I had to memorize how things were done. So there were certain rules that I had to follow and be like, okay, if I just kind of follow these kind of formats and these formulas, I can get to the answer, because there is a certain pattern to it that because it was just so complicated, and there was just like thousands other things that you had to do, and then thousands like the other exams that you had to do, and these were all the things. So just say that you had this problem where the certain rules and you memorized all of this, and then come the day of the exam and you open the paper and then your heart drops, because it's completely in a different format, and the formula that you memorized does not fit, just does not work, and it's completely it just doesn't work. What do you do then? You have to try and make it work, So and the reason why I'm saying this is because I did not try to understand, or i.e. like operate with an understanding. However, if I understood the concept and actually understand and operate with an understanding, then whatever the problem is, I would have been able to tackle it. And that's the difference. So one is basically educating myself on the facts and just kind of knowing all the facts and whatever, this and that. But one is actually when you understand it. When we talk about the mind, so Bob Proctor uses a figure. So this is why I really wanted to make this visual, because I can, you can stare at my face and, like some of the things are going to go over your head, out, in ear, out the other, or maybe like over the ear as well, and this and that. So sometimes, visual, we're very, as human beings, we're very visual. So this is why I kind of thought I've got a presentation which hopefully will help to understand, or at least elaborate on all the things that I say. So who knows that the mind, there are two types of mind, or the mind can be split into two different types. Do you know what the two are? If so, drop it in the chat. Conscious, yes. And the other one is subconscious, yes, spot on. So that's it. So, Bob Proctor uses this thick person. And although the mind is technically not in our brains, that's what a lot of people think. But it's actually kind of it's basically like all of us. But I'm not going to go into that much detail. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, your conscious mind is basically the thinking mind, or the educated mind, and it has the ability to choose, accept, reject, or originate ideas. So it's just basically like if I said, oh, sorry, 1 second. The laptop's about to fall. Okay, I think it's safe. But yeah, so if I said, oh, like the grasses are purple, like you'd be like, no, it's not. So this is your conscious mind working. You're just saying, okay, yeah, no, you literally completely rejecting the idea. And then you have the subconscious mind, which is the emotional mind. And this is the key. It does not have the ability to reject, accept, anything comes in. Interestingly, it cannot determine the difference between what's real and what's imagined. And this is why it's so powerful. And this is the reason why visualization is so important. And this is also another reason why we do affirmations as well. And then your body is the instrument of the mind. It kind of does all the whatever flows in from your thinking mind to the emotional mind, and the emotions are the ones that drive and puts you into action, and the action gives you the results, and so on. So this is a bit of a, I guess, another illustration, which is these 5 antennas. So these are all of your 5 senses which are hooked to your conscious mind. So it picks up all sorts of ideas and information from the outside world, including your current results. You see your current results. There's results that maybe you potentially don't want, or there's something that you're working towards which is taking some time, you're not getting the results, you're trading, you're putting the hours in, you're trading, you're learning and this and that, but you're not getting the results, and you're just not getting that kind of, the results that you really want. Which leads to thoughts like, oh, I can't do this, this is impossible, this is not working, this is not for me, blah, blah, blah. And you start going on this kind of cycle, right? So you're filled with worries and doubt. And these thoughts translate into fear, which goes into your emotional mind. So see the kind of transition. So you're thinking all these things in your conscious mind, and then it takes you to fear, anxiety, and then which takes you into your emotional mind, i.e. your subconscious mind. And then the fear itself manifests into anxiety, and anxiety is suppressed, turns into disintegration, i.e. the results that you don't want. But hopefully now you can see like this vicious cycle, and now understand the importance of not letting your current results determine your thoughts, hence the future results. I know I said quite a lot in there, but does that make sense? So whatever you're basically, all the things that you can see going on from the outside world, you're basically just absorbing all of that in, and that's basically going into kind of, if you just literally think about it, I see this is the results that you see, and then the results cause thoughts, and then thoughts stir emotions, and emotion causes vibration, and then vibration causes results. And then you're in this constantly, yeah, absolutely, I can go over this again. You're in constantly in this cycle. So what happens is, like, okay, let's just say you're trading, right? And you have you start off the trading and you're like, okay, I'm not getting the results that I want, or this is bad. Like, you know, let's just say you lost a big trade. You placed a trade in, you lost it, and then you think, oh, okay, this is stupid, this is bad, like, I can't do this, or this doesn't work. And it's like all of these negative thoughts, right? That's going through your head, which goes in your conscious mind. You're just thinking of all these things. And when you're thinking of these like negative thoughts, what happens is that it translates into your emotions. So obviously when you're thinking of these, like, oh, this doesn't work, blah, 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 you're not going to be happy about it, are you? You're going to be like annoyed, you're going to have maybe anxiety, or I don't know, like whatever. Like, let's just say you lost a trade, you're angry, right? All of these emotions basically are kind of what causes the vibration. So vibration is basically vibration is basically another, vibrations are basically kind of their levels of what you put out, what you give, like it's your energy. And then just other words for the level of vibrations. So if you're angry, which is the lowest form, your vibration is at the lowest. But if you're happy with gratitude and, basically all the happy thoughts and things, it gives you the highest vibration, the highest energy. So these are just all levels of vibration. And what we give them name to is basically gratitude, happiness, and all this and that, and then fear, anxiety, and all this and that. Yes, exactly. So what happens is basically you're seeing your current results, you're thinking all these negative thoughts, and you're feeling these negative emotions, and then you're basically letting it out in this kind of lowest form of vibration, and then you get the results again. And then you go into this basically vicious cycle that you're never going to end, and then which is only going to impact your future results again. So that's kind of what it is. So just from looking at this, like just this diagram, where do you think, or what do we think we need to correct or change? In order to basically cut this cycle, what do we need to do? Or where do we need to basically cut the chain or cut the cycle? Thoughts? Exactly. We can't change our results straight away, can we? We can't. Emotions, if we're feeling angry, feeling sad, we can't just be like, okay, I'm going to feel happy now. You know, it's really hard to control our emotions. It doesn't happen immediately. Pretty much kind of with subconscious mind, it's really hard to change because it's like subconscious mind is your is basically your programming of your mind. So this programming, which we call it the paradigm as well, I think I'll be covering that in a bit. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is that you have the power to choose what goes into your conscious mind. So basically, we're going to get rid of this line here. Let the results be the results. Don't look at it. And we change everything from this angle, from here, the thoughts. So if we change the thoughts, emotions are going to change. Emotions are going to change our vibration. And then in the end, results are going to change. Because whatever goes into our conscious mind, we have the ability to choose, reject, accept, override, originate ideas. Exactly, and that's where it comes basically, and this is why I'm sure most of you would have heard Think and Grow Rich, which is a very famous personal development book. Why do you think it's called Think and Grow Rich? Because everything starts from the mind, and you start with your thoughts. That's why it says think and then grow rich. because all you're doing is thoughts going into emotions, into your vibrations, and then changing the results. Can you give an example of what goes in the conscious mind? So anything. So conscious mind is basically whatever you're thinking right now. So it's your mind. So subconscious mind is something that you really don't actually don't have a control over, which is it's just kind of like it's like at the back of it, if that makes sense. But the conscious mind is literally just your mind itself. So whatever you're thinking right now. So obviously you're listening to me, you're taking ideas in, you might be like, okay, questioning some of the things I say, you might be looking at things, you might be like, oh, you can hear like some, I don't know, background noise and anything. So it's basically just your mind as you are conscious of it. And that's it. That's basically it. So I can choose what I want to think. Yes, there are, we have like, I think the fact is like there's at least 10,000 thoughts go through your mind every day. Yes, there are some things that will literally come in and go, but the fact that the thing here is about actually just forcing ourselves to think things in a way. So that's why we do, gratitude or gratification, affirmation. So I am powerful. I am strong. I'm a 7-figure trader. I am this. I am that. All of this is basically you're forcing your thoughts. And this is choosing what you want to think, your conscious mind. Visualization. Why do we have dream boards or aspirational vision, I call it. And mine's literally right in front of me. And this has literally everything I want. I look at it every single day because that's what I'm thinking. And I'm choosing to think of these things. And this is why I'm choosing to feed my conscious mind. And this is why we do personal development as well. I hope that makes sense. So obviously we can choose what we think relatively easy, right? However, it's not as simple. And so here, you're pretty much kind of right. It's about, so we start off with the thoughts, and then we basically want to, we can't really get rid of our subconscious thoughts because that is something we don't really have control over. But subconscious word, another word for it is paradigm. Has everyone heard of paradigm before? Azzaya. So basically paradigms, they control our mind. Yep, Carmen, I'm sure you definitely have. And I've basically heard, so yeah, let me say kind of, just so for those of you who don't know what paradigm is basically the programming of your subconscious mind. How does it get programmed? It's like it's a multitude of habits, and I think it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. But it's just not just your habits, but it's other people's habits passed on from one generation to the next. So your paradigm, like your programming of your mind or the subconscious mind, could consist of your grandparents or great-great-grandparents' habits. So whatever their habits had, that might have been passed down on to you. And the reason why a paradigm is so important here is that it permits you or causes you to let your current results control you. So it's basically having the ability to look at your current results, which you don't, let's just say you don't want, you want to have a 7-figure trading account or 6-figure trading account, but you're looking at your 4-figure trading account and you're just not getting that what you want. And it's being able to say, okay, no, that's fine. I'm going to have a 6-figure trading. And you're being able to see it and you're literally just working towards that and not letting that 4-figure affect your future results. And here you need to shift or reprogram your paradigm to get the results that you want. So it's basically, it's like kind of, if you think of it as like, I don't know, like like a factory chain kind of thing. So your thoughts go in, whether that thoughts is going to have the current results in or not, you can choose. So your thoughts are going to go through the conveyor belt, but it's your choice to whether you want to add your current results in there, which is going to affect it, or you're going to choose to take it out. But when you choose to take it out, it goes through the conveyor belt, which gets you to the destination that you want, but it's the conveyor belt, which is the paradigm, which gets you to that destination. It might spin off and completely go the wrong way, the way that you don't want, or it can go the way that you want it to. And that all comes down, where the conveyor belt is going to go is going to depend on your paradigm or the programming of that conveyor belt. I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of what it is. And this kind of picture basically illustrates it. So like you've got the thought power, you have the power to choose what goes through your mind. And then obviously your emotions is your subconscious mind. And then whether you want to go for the negative and then you're going to get the negative results, the results that you don't want, or you choose to get rid of the, think of your positive results, the results that you want, you foresee, and then actually go and achieve that. It's that quote that if you can hold it in your head, you can have it in your hand. It's basically that. And so this image basically illustrates quite well on how the paradigm works. So just to quickly recap, so you understand this a little bit. So when you're filled with worries, doubts, and these thoughts gets translated onto fear. So when you're always filled with, worrying, how am I going to be able to do it? Or I don't think this trade's going to work, or I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, or this and that. All of this comes down to fear, right? And then the fear is like, oh, you're scared. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. Okay, all this kind of thing, and all these emotions are kind of bubbling over. And then that could potentially, translate into anxiety, depression, disease, or disintegration, or whatever. All of these kind of, i.e. like the results that you don't want. And all of this is because you're letting the outside world control you, i.e. what you can physically see, what you can physically hear, all of this, all the things that you potentially have right now. As I'm sure we're all here to, we all have big goals, big dreams, big visions that we all go and working towards at. And so, this is where we're going. So obviously we're not at the place that we want to be, or we haven't achieved our goals yet. So we want to be looking at our goals. We want to looking at what we're working on, what we're achieving in order to get to where we are. So just remember that you're in control. You have the power to choose. So why choose to go this way? Why choose to let your current results affect your future results? Because of your paradigm, and your paradigm either permits you or causes you to let your results control you. So how can we change that? It's easier said than done, but it's basically going back to what I was saying, is operating with an understanding. And this is why we're saying it's important, why we operate with an understanding. And understanding only comes with studying. Not knowing it, but actually really understanding it. So this is why I was saying, like education, facts, knowing facts. I'll be like, oh yeah, I know this, but actually understanding is the big thing here. Okay, drop a seven if this is starting to make sense in your understanding. See how this kind of all links together. I know it's a bit of a big topic. Okay, all right, amazing. We're all on the same page. Love it. If anyone's lost, give me a shout. All right. Yes, exactly. This is what it is. So I know some of you would have heard this kind of presentation already, but it's actually because it's been a while. I think I've done this one ages ago with a little bit. And it's just literally about when you hear things again. Yes, you might have heard it, and you might have listened to it, but have you actually heard it? But then also you would have developed as a person. So the way you would have heard it would have been different as well. And every single time I say, I could, just everything I said so far, I 100% guarantee that not each and every single one of you missed a thing or two or four or, bits of it. Because when I say these kind of things to you, and it is just a fact. No, not saying like, oh, you didn't listen to me. It's just a fact. That's how we work. So when I say something, you're actually processing in your head, and you actually go into and you work. Exactly. And then you kind of, when I'm saying these things, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, and you start thinking about it, and you actually start kind of like processing it. And then I'll be saying things here, but you actually haven't heard that. So this is why repetition is the mother. What's the thing? What's the saying again? Mother of languages? No, you know what I mean. Somebody finish that quote for me, please. But yeah, so more specifically, it's the understanding that if we build an image, so obviously, as I said, we're very visuals as humans, is of the good that you desire, and get emotionally involved in it, i.e. involve your subconscious mind into it, and have the faith that you're going to get it, and believe in yourself, ultimately you will attract it. Mother of learning, there you go, that's the one. I was thinking, mother of languages doesn't make sense. But yeah, there you go. So this is why repetition is the mother of learning. There you go. Yes, exactly. Like Carmen said, this is why writing things down is very good. So let me say that again. It's the understanding that if we build an image in our head, i.e. visualize, whether we write it down, whether we think about it, close our eyes, meditate, have vision boards or whatever, anything, and you get emotionally involved in it. Next week I'm going to cover affirmations, and I'll go over this in a little bit more detail. And have the faith that you're going to get it. Believe in yourself. Actually think, okay, if I can do this, or if he or she or whatever, you have the belief that you can do it, eventually you will attract it. Because faith manifests into well-being, and in their expression turns into like acceleration, and then creation, and then creating the life that you want, or the results that you want. And that's kind of how it works. So this is it. So this is like a visual representation. So I said how it comes down with study. So you gain the knowledge, obviously the facts and things, and then you study it with an understanding, not just learning, memorizing, or any of that, but actually understand it, and then have a faith in it. So and then that really just turns into the creation side of things, creating the life that you desire. So now you see these two on like side by side. Can you see that you start off with ignorance, and then all this kind of the conveyor belt kind of thing, and you've got the knowledge on that side. If we look at what's happening in the subconscious mind, you've got fear versus faith. You've got the fear and faith in like the subconscious mind or your emotional mind. So sometimes having faith in your ability or getting the results that you want can be hard. But listen to this. Both fear and faith demand that you believe in something that does not exist or see. Let me repeat that again. Both fear and faith demand you that you believe in something that does not exist, or something that you cannot actually see. So if you're going to believe in something, then why not just choose faith instead? It's not going to be easy, and yeah, exactly. Like we're forced, we literally have, okay, am I gonna, I don't know, literally, there's one thing, basically, fear is basically accumulation of worry and doubt. Is worry and doubt. If you actually really think about worry and doubt itself, right? You're worried. Oh, like, oh, is it going to happen? It's basically you don't know what's going to happen, hence you're worrying about it. I don't know. Let's just say you've got say you've got an exam tomorrow. You're like, oh, am I going to pass it? Am I going to know? Like, what the questions are going to be? You're worrying and doubt, and you basically having all this, and then that turns into fear. It's basically the unknown or not knowing. So what's the opposite? It's the knowing, the knowledge, understanding, and that's how you can eliminate fear. And does that make sense? Because when I actually when I actually understood that, like it took me it literally was like a spark. And I was just like, oh my god, it is so true. Because fear, when you're scared of something, it's just basically you don't know something. That's why you get scared. But if you know and understand it, then that goes. But yeah, so it's not going to be easy, and you will go backwards and forwards because you can't eliminate fear. So just keep studying with an understanding, or operating with an understanding, and just being aware of this will help you. So now you know this, it will help you. So let me take you through the process itself. When you have done something once and then it becomes a bit easier, like it's a little bit like, so let me show you like what you might face, and now you're operating with an understanding. Hopefully it will make it a little bit easier. You most likely will go through these stages, and it's completely normal. It's like, I don't know, let's just say your friend moved houses, right? And you were going to their house. So you live somewhere, and then you used to go back and forwards all the time. You didn't really need to think about it. You kind of got on the bus or the tube or whatever, and just like without really even thinking about it, you just went. And let's just say your friend moved now, but because though you don't know the way, you are you're gonna have this hesitation. But if I showed you, okay, this is the way to go, like this way, you'd be like, okay. Let's just say on the way, you're like, okay, you're gonna, I don't know, let's just say you went there and there's some things happened that maybe was unpleasant. But if I told you, okay, when you turn this road right here, you're gonna see some really, I don't know, bad people or whatever, because you know it, you're not going to worry about it. It's going to be easier. And you might, you'd be like, okay, you would have done it already, good, therefore you can do it again. Basically, it's just kind of knowing the route just basically, rather than just going straight ahead. I hope that made sense. But so basically, this is what happens. I wonder why the picture is very, something going on. Is the picture clear? Oh, it's clear on the, okay, all right. Can you see this red lines here? I know I can. I don't know what that is. Sorry about that. So what basically, so that you'll go through these stages. So let me kind of talk you through the stages. You've heard the saying, like, learning and development only happens outside the comfort zone. And this should explain why. And also, let me just, 1 second. Okay, cool, we've got 15 minutes. The learning and development happens, outside of your comfort zone. And what is comfort zone? So at this point, your paradigm is giving you the results that you don't want. So you're getting the X type of results. So you're thinking of X type of thoughts, like here, and because that is what is coming to your mind. So it just kind of, that's just like you're comfortable with it. So whatever flows into your thoughts is going in and whatever, and you're just kind of in that process, right? Which is in the comfort zone. So in that, you kind of just let it flow. Now, after you hearing me say this, you realize that you need to change your thoughts, right? Or you already have been, or you've done it before. So you think of a new idea. Why? So it's basically, okay, the results that you want, okay, you're seeing yourself as a consistent, profitable, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure trader. You're putting yourself into that kind of moment. So you think of this new idea or the image of you with that good that you desire. However, remember how I said that you're not going to get the results that you want by changing your thoughts? It would be great if we just had that, right? Because your paradigm is still the same. So basically, even though we get a Y in the conscious mind, we still have X it's going to turn the Y into X. So it's basically not going to let you to convert that, if you kind of see what I'm trying to get to here. And then you're going to get the X results. And this is where basically you're trying to reason yourself, okay, I'm trying to change my thoughts and this and that. You're doing affirmations, you're doing visualizations and things, but you're still not getting the results that you want because your paradigm is still the same. That X is still the same, or that your basically subconscious mind is refusing to convert that Y into an X. And then you get to this stage, which is conflict. When you impress this new idea, you will face a conflict because you're trying to force, like, if you kind of think of it like the conveyor belt, you're trying to force Y into it, but it's like, oh yeah, it's only X, and it's like, so it doesn't, like, I don't know, it doesn't work. So you get this conflict. And then you've got a Y and X both mixed together. And then you're going to get the Y and X results and all this and that, right? So when you hit a conflict, you face a thing called terror barrier, right here. Then you get filled with doubt, worry, fear, anxiety, and then we go back to comfort zone again. So you can kind of see, we start off with the comfort zone and we'll try and change things to get out of a comfort zone, try and do things a little bit different, change our thoughts, do affirmations, visualizations, and meditation, all these kind of things. And then we kind of get filled with doubt. Oh, is it really going to work? Am I really this or that? Am I going to be a good trader? Like, this doesn't work, something happens, and then you basically hit this terror barrier and then you go back to zero again. And like I said before, you cannot eliminate fear. But understanding that there is a terror barrier, and through repetition, you can go through it. So you can't eliminate any of this, but you can actually go through it. And understanding the terror barrier, and with repetition, just like how kind of you can see in the picture here, you can go through it. But understand that you cannot let the outside world or your current results determine your future results. And the main thing here is you just cannot eliminate fear, but you just have to do it afraid. Understand that, like, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy getting out of your first comfort zone, trying to change things and seeing your current results and thinking, yes, I'm going to be able to change that. Yes, I can do it. And believing in yourself. And instead of choosing fear, you basically here choosing faith instead. So either you choose fear and go back to zero, go back into your comfort zone, go back and do the things that you've always done and get the results that you don't want, and stay there. Or you have the faith in yourself that you can do it and just say, I'm going to make this happen and do it, and I'm going to do it afraid. Because you either believe in the things that doesn't exist and go back to zero, or you actually believe in the fact that you can do it and just go through the barrier at the terror barrier and just do it afraid. And that's it. So basically, that's kind of summarizes what it is that I wanted to talk to you about, and just understand that there is faith and fear, and it's up to you what you want to choose. And you know, if you want to go back to zero, you can, but also understand. But just understanding there is this terror barrier, and being that you can't eliminate fear. You're always going to have fear. You just cannot eliminate it completely. You're always going to be afraid of taking steps in the direction that you don't know. Anything uncertain that you don't know, you're going to be scared, especially when you get out of your comfort zone, doing things. I don't know, like taking the first steps to whatever it is that is you've never done before. Nobody wants to go back to zero, but just understand, like, fear is going to take you back to zero. So what you need to do is basically, okay, it's fine, but I'm going to make this happen because I believe in myself, because I can do it, I will do it, and I'm just going to make it happen. I'm going to do it, although I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. And that's basically not really getting rid of fear, but letting kind of faith take over, and then just going ahead with it and just go through that barrier. So you might go back and forwards in the cycle a few times, but as soon as you kind of get to know it, but it doesn't mean like, once you go back to zero, doesn't mean it's game over. Most likely everyone probably does go back to zero quite a number of times. You do something, you get out of your comfort zone, you do it, and then you're like, I can't, and then you go back to zero again, and then you do it again. But the more you do it, and this is why, through repetition, you will be able to go through it. So just because you hit the terror barrier once, twice, thrice, whatever, don't let it basically stop you from going through it, because you can. If you believe in yourself, then you can. But that's it. That's all from me. And I think I've got I've got 5 minutes. If anybody has any questions or anything that you want me to just explain over again. But next week, just because this is a little bit fresh in our mind, I'm going to go through like a visualization, and basically taking that kind of first steps into getting the new why idea, and really kind of digging deep into why visualization, affirmations, meditation, and all of self-image, all of these are important. Yes, so met the barrier so often that we never went back to zero. Amazing. There you go. But thank you to each and every single one of you for being here, and I hope you found, or at least understood something or took away something from here. And I hope you all have an absolutely amazing evening. And for those of you Trade HFX, I shall see you all in about 5 minutes. Raise our vibration quite a bit, hopefully. So hopefully we'll have, the markets are nice today, so we shall go and get the bag. But yes, thank you and have a good night all.